Okay.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are going to talk about an interesting topic today. That is procrastination, commonly seen everywhere. Almost everybody has procrastinations, either one way or other. There's nobody who's perfect. But what is procrastination? How to identify it in your life? How to overcome that? And how to use it practically in your everyday life? So that's the goal of the talk today. So I will kick you the floor first to Miriam. She's going to talk about what is procrastination and how to identify it. And from there, we will go ahead. Okay. All right. It's up to you, Miriam. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Sam. It's a lovely presentation. Procrastination, I believe everyone have been there in life. We have a goal, a clear vision, what we want in life. But in a way, something happened. We stop up, we don't do that we really want to do. Everyone have this kind of experience that we want to do something and we can't even figure out how can we get the energy to make it done. And how can we handle the situation when that happened in life? And sometimes the most easy way to do it is just to take it, look for what we want to sort out, and can we take a part of it? We don't need to do everything at the same time, just a little bit every single time, one step a day, and see that everyone's struggling with that because every one of us, we want to have change in life, but we don't want to change, if I can explain it like that. Everyone want to be successful, but no one want to make the hard work behind. And when we change our mind, when we do something different, we always happen the situation that something's stopping up in a way. We feel frustration, we feel that we don't have energy, we don't know how to handle the situation, and how can we do it differently. And that's what we were talking about today. How can we handle that happen in life? We can feel that we're struggling to solve everything out. How can we become the person we want to be? And how can we learn something new? And when I get older, it's so much more harder for us to change as well. When we're young, we learn something so quickly, but when we get old, it's so much more complicated. And the frustration we have is so much more harder because we have our old habits within ourselves. We have our own paradigm, how we used to handle things. When we change, it's so much, it always has some kind of block inside ourselves. And that's why it's so important to see why that happened and how can we make it control over these things. So it's what we aim to explain more about how can we handle procrastination on a better way, and how can we learn to be a better version of ourselves to understand our much more deeply as well.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Miriam. It was a lovely presentation about procrastination and what it is. And I'm going to continue further on with how you can actually overcome procrastination. And I want to tell you a few things about procrastination in general, because procrastination is something most people struggle with, as Miriam said. But it can be managed with practical strategies. I'm going to start with first reading you from a book. I'm not going to tell you what the book is, but you can leave in the comments below after this video and let me know if you guessed what the book is. And in this book says that the opposite of procrastination is decision. It's a common enemy which practically every man must conquer, which is a practical truth. Analysis of several hundred people who had accumulated fortunes well beyond the $1 million mark disclosed the fact that every one of them had the habit of reaching decision promptly and of changing this decision slowly, even when they were changed. People who fail to accumulate money without exception have the habit of reaching decision, if at all, very slowly, and of changing this decision quickly and often. Of course, in this situation, the procrastination refers to the accumulation of riches, the accumulation of money. But the procrastination is not only about accumulating money. Procrastination is in all walks of life. For example, if you want to achieve something in your life, you have to manage procrastination. And procrastination is quite hard to overcome, especially if you do not know how to overcome it. I believe the first thing in managing and eliminating procrastination from our life is to take a decision. First, we have to take a decision that we're going to do something, and that's how we do the first step in order to eliminate procrastination. The second part is to take action. Without action, nothing gets changed. So in order to eliminate procrastination, first we need to take the decision, then we need to take action. So I'm going to break through some things that you can do, actually a step-by-step guide on how to eliminate procrastination, which will help you a lot in your process if you take notice of it. So I will start first with breaking tasks into smaller steps. And I'm going to emphasize a little bit here the idea of setting up a goal. At the beginning, you need to set up a big goal. You need to set up a goal where you want to reach at some point in time. But of course, if it's something new, something that you haven't done before, it's going to be very difficult because you're not going to know all the steps that you need to take in order to get there. So in this case, you need to break down that big goal into smaller manageable goals. So instead of saying, I need to write an essay, for example, start with, I'll write the introduction paragraph today, or even I'll start the introduction paragraph now. Because if you say today, or I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it the next day, then it's a type of procrastinating in essence. You're mostly not going to do it. So you need to make up your mind that you're going to do something, and you need to start immediately to do that particular thing. Big tasks. So why this actually breaking tasks into smaller manageable tasks works? Because the big tasks feel overwhelming, but the small ones feel actually doable. So try and take this in consideration when you are setting up a goal in the future. And when you want to eliminate procrastination, of course. Another step in order to eliminate procrastination is to use the 2-minute rule. If a task, for example, takes less than 2 minutes, like replying to an email or filling a paper, you should actually do it immediately. You should not keep it for longer there, which will block your time. For bigger tasks, commit to working for at least 2 minutes. And often if you start doing that 2 minutes, you're going to end up doing it entirely if it's not that big. So starting doing a thing, it's often the hardest part. So start with a 2-minute rule. The third thing is to set clear deadlines and priorities. When you set up a goal, you need to set up priorities. You need to set up steps that you need to implement in order to get to that particular goal which you are striving to achieve. So also in the same time, you need to set up clear deadlines, because if you do not set a deadline, you're probably gonna tag along, but you're not gonna finish it in time. Absolutely not, because you didn't set up a deadline, but you might not finish it at all because you didn't put your priorities together in line with some clear deadlines that you need to achieve that particular project by that particular time. So instead of I'll start later, for example, you can say like, I'll review the chapter from 6 to 7 p.m. tonight, or even now, if you have time now. So why this setting clear deadlines and priorities work? Because the vague goals lead to endless delays. So try not to delay your goals, okay? And to start working on them. Removing distraction also is a crucial factor, because we are bombarded with a lot of things nowadays, and it's easy to procrastinate because we are distracted by our phone, we are distracted by TV, by social media. So procrastination thrives on easy alternatives. But we can also turn off notifications. We can use website blockers to stop us from using those websites. or we can study in a quiet place where we don't have all these distractions. So removing distraction is also a crucial factor in combating procrastination. There is also a technique. It's a very interesting technique. It's called the Pomodoro technique. In this technique, it says that you need to work for 25 minutes and take a 5 minutes break. Then repeat again, and after about 4 rounds, you take a longer break. It's the same like going at school, you know. After every hour you are studying at a certain thing, then you need to take a 5 minutes or a 10 minutes break. And at the middle of it, you can have a 30 minutes break for lunch, for example, or anything like this. So why this Pomodoro technique works? Because the short bursts keeps the focus high and it reduces burnout. We need to focus on the lowest amount of burnout. We need to focus on reducing the burnout to the minimum, because if we get burnout, then we're not going to accomplish that particular tasks. Rewarding oneself, it's also very important, because your brain likes immediate gratification. So don't forget to reward yourself after every win, after every goal. Visualize the outcome, okay? When setting up a goal, you need to visualize the entire outcome. You need to see where you are right now, and you need to see where you want to get when you have accomplished that particular goal. Then you take smaller goals and also visualize the outcome, how you have finished that particular small goal that you started working on. Thinking about the benefits of completing a task creates motivation, so don't forget to do that. Also, you can find an accountability partner. That is also a way that will help you a lot, because we are more likely to follow through when somebody else knows our plan than only when we know that particular plan. And what I mean about finding an accountability partner is to tell a friend that you're going to do something by that particular time or that by particular date, and then you should be held accountable if you didn't accomplish it. So that's what I mean about finding an accountability partner. Changing the environment also, it's also very important. So why it works? A new space can reset your mindset. If you always procrastinate at your desk, you need to try working in a library or a cafe where you won't be distracted. And also, the environment means also about the people that you are surrounded by. If you are surrounded by people which always procrastinate, you're most likely to procrastinate as well. So you need to find some people that you actually can work with that do not procrastinate, that go through with their plan, and that do not have too many setbacks. Also, challenge perfectionism. What I mean by challenging perfectionism? For example, when you are aiming for something perfect, you shouldn't aim for something perfect. First, commit to writing a messy essay, or commit to making a draft sketch. And then you can actually edit that sketch until you make it better and better. Perfect is not possible. You can make it better. Always you can become better. Actually, Albert Einstein said something about the people who never fail. He said that the people who never failed have never tried anything new. So don't be afraid of failing. Failing is part of the process. Only the people that didn't go out of their comfort zone, that didn't try anything, is those people that never failed. The people that succeeded in life is the people that had multiple setbacks, but didn't stop there. They continued, and they went over and over and over again until they overcome that obstacle. So procrastination isn't about laziness. It's about avoiding discomfort by breaking tasks down, managing focus, and rewriting the progress. You train your brain to take that particular action. So thank you for listening, and I leave it now with with Sam, with practical examples on procrastination.
Yeah, thank you. Good talk, both of you. Think you have covered everything. That's perfectly done. Covered almost everything about procrastination. Uh, but to me, procrastination is a form of resistance. It is a subconscious resistance. It's a subconscious resistance that prevents the change. Uh, and in the psychology, uh, procrastination, it refers to any subconscious or conscious block. It's a kind of defense mechanism. Defense mechanism is it wants to keep you comfortable. It doesn't want you to get harmed. That's the way we think about procrastination, and everybody has procrastinations. Uh, they want to postpone. They say they don't have time. They say I cannot do it right now. I got to go there, go here. All these are forms of procrastination. These are resistance. Your subconscious, it creates that resistance. And the procrastination can be found even the, the somatic resistance. It can cause you stomach pain. It can cause you headache. It can cause you churning thing in the stomach or tightness in the chest. So it delays or avoids engaging with the task. Why? Because there have been a lot of studies done on that. And I do have uh, the psychophysiology part of it, but it'll be too much for this the topic today, what we are talking, because they found that most of the procrastinators have decreased the dopamine in the prefrontal cortex, which requires the structuring and then which requires the complex activity, the long-term task planning. So there are a lot of studies out there, but everything is done at this level. His talk is perfectly done. But only thing I want to show you is that I have got some statistics about the procrastination in the world. And this statistics has been from the different places because I do uh, the therapy also for procrastination, and we do have a program. I just want to share this one. These are the statistics we could have a look at. Say, but interestingly, uh, I'm sharing you this because this I prepared for the International Association, but procrastination globally, if you see that roughly 25% of adults are considered chronic procrastinators. Chronic. When I say that, it's been more than 6 months continuously. They have been denying themselves. They procrastinate to do things. Procrastination, it refers to every part of your life, every part of your life. Some sources approximate to 20 to 30% of adults globally. And the daily procrastination for 42.6% of adults do this, with 20.5 procrastination every day. And procrastination peaks when you are between 14 and 29 years. That's interesting to know that at this time there is a lot of myelination in the brain and new tracks are formed, new pathways are formed. So that's the reason in this age group you will find people maybe from the 14 years to 19 years who will try to uh, venture out with some drugs. They start smoking, they try to drink and say, because new paths are forming, new pathways are forming, and new pathways, they create trouble. And the German study, highest procrastination between 14 and 29 years old. That's the international study. And then the strong link exists between procrastinations and factors like being single. If they are single, if they are unemployed, and if they are a student, they procrastinate the most. That's very interesting to know because I did have a couple of students also who had the same problem. They are very bad procrastinators. And procrastination for us is that when they say, I want to postpone the session, I cannot attend today because I got a headache. I had the food poisoning. I don't want the session tomorrow. So this is the procrastination. This is your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind creates it, though it is not connected. Though you could come and do the session, though you can attend the class, they will not come because the subconscious mind stops them. It doesn't want them to complete the task. And this is very interesting is that it is completely related with the dopamine in the brain. And there are a lot of studies on the procrastination, especially on the psychiatry side. And also now they are doing a lot on the hypnotherapy side. Even International Journal had the topic on this. And you can see the students, high school, college graduates, 80 to 95% procrastinate at least sometimes. High school, 50% report habitual procrastination. 86% admitting to put off assignments. And I also take care of high school children. And this is very common why they don't get good scores. Because at the end of the year, their homework is bad, they get low scores and doesn't add up to the GP. And break down the educational levels, high school 50%, undergraduates 95%, and graduates 60%. And procrastination has become chronic now in this country and also all over the world. And I think other thing is adolescents. We talked about it. Adolescents have got a lot of procrastinators out there. And there is strangely, there is one thing that I need to emphasize. It is in general, I put it together because we had a tabular column on that. So it has been reported that 15 to 25% of adults regularly procrastinate, and 95% of the college students they procrastinate, and they are very severe procrastinators. But that's the reason they don't do well. Here, I just want to show some very interesting stuff. The procrastination is not only that who you are, but the climatic conditions, the region of the world, the cultural traits and values, and the dominant procrastination types. This is an international study, and it's very interesting to know that the Western countries, the Northern Europe, the Southern Europe, and all these, they have lifetime procrastinations, academic procrastinations, the decisional procrastinations, and the perfectionism, as Angel talked about. The perfectionism procrastination. And the Southern Europe, you'll find the life routine procrastination, social procrastination. These people, they avoid going to meet somebody. They avoid the meetings. They don't want to go. And then you got East Asia and South Asia, where academic procrastination is maximum. Academic procrastination is maximum, and the fear of failure and procrastination due to authority figure in case of the South Asia, because uh, you could get clients from different part of this world. I mean, the parents are from Asia, so they will be procrastinating in a different way. And the Eastern world procrastinate a different way. Western world procrastinate a different way. Depends upon the cultural traits, their cultural values. It's interesting to know. I just put it here because this helped me a lot when I see the clients. So most of the time, you will see the behavioral changes in the procrastinators. What you would say is this is the common thing I see in. Oh my God, jumping. Oh, okay, this is what you see. These are the verbal cues. Once they come up with the verbal cues, you know this is resistance. You got to explore the resistance because the Miriam and Angela talked about what is procrastination and then how to overcome procrastination. But the problem is, how are you going to identify it? You cannot identify it yourself. That's not possible, impossible, because it is a defense mechanism. It will not allow you to know that you're procrastinating. For you, it will be perfect, and you will think what you're doing is the right thing in the world. But procrastination shows up. in verbal cues, in behaviors, in emotions, and also sometimes the somatic. I've seen a lot of somatic also, and could see the verbal cues. I'll do it later. I don't. When I feel ready, I work. I work best under pressure. I've seen that once or twice, but actually they failed when they're working under pressure. So this happens, and we cannot recognize our own procrastination. That's what I want to emphasize. You will think what you're doing is correct because your subconscious mind is programmed to do that. It is causing a kind of a resistance. This is a resistance for us. And this resistance, our job is to break. And we see the clients, we got to break this resistance. We got to find out the resistance. We got to neutralize the resistance. And that is beyond the scope of this talk. But other thing they do is I don't have time for that. This is not for me. Yeah, this is not for me is very common. If you ask them, they will say, "Oh, that is not for me." No, my world is different. So this indicates avoidance, perfectionism, and the reliance. Again, the perfectionism is everywhere, as Angel has talked about. But for us, perfectionism, we have, according to psychology, perfectionism is it is not that they want to be perfect. They want to know everything in the world. They will attend thousands of courses. They will do hundreds of certifications, but still they don't want to start. They don't want to start because that's what happens is whatever they do, and how many courses they take, they don't complete any of them because everything is left in between, and they want to know everything in the world. That's the perfectionism we look for in the psychology because perfectionism is seen in many ways. There are people, I got friends, I got counselors, friends, they want to take hundreds of courses, but they don't know, but they don't complete any of them. And they don't practice most of them. And I've seen perfectionism a different way also. There are lots of ways of looking at perfectionism, but mostly you will see the behavioral things like missed the deadlines, appointments, very common. And then the last minute rushing. Oh, they will say, "Oh, yeah, I just had 5 minutes to complete the stuff. I'm sorry about it, but I did something." And over preparing, over researching, that's another problem. They want to do thousands of things, not necessary. Need to do the basics. So the procrastinations can appear like this. The digital distraction already mentioned by, I think, by both Angel and Miriam, both told you about the digital world that causes trouble. And I don't know why my screen is jumping. Okay. And the emotional indicators, anxiety, shame, guilt. This is how the procrastination appears. And there is a relief because they get an extension, secondary gain. The secondary gain is I am fine as I am right now. I need not go for that. Why should I struggle and reach that point? You got the secondary gain. The defense mechanism kicks in. You get the secondary gain. And the perfectionism failure driven fear of failure. All perfectionists, they fear failure. They feel insecure because it's a kind of an avoidance for them. And it comes from the childhood. Again, I'm telling you, all these procrastinations, most of the procrastinators comes from childhood. If you go to the childhood history, you'll find that they became procrastinators when they were in school or they were adolescents and teens. So, and then the somatic, they say it's all hypnotherapy wise because this was made for hypnotherapists. But the somatic wise, you'll find things like I got a headache, I cannot do it today. I got a stomachache, I cannot do it today. My leg is hurting, I cannot do it today. So this is the somatic way how the procrastination can appear as a resistance. So these are the things I just want to say only because this has not been told by the colleagues. So I thought that I will just let you know about these things. I think We are almost there. I'll take another 5 minutes and we are done. So these are all the things you need not worry about. But here, uh, it's already hit there. Angel already mentioned this, that use procrastination as a feedback. And you will not know that you're procrastinating until somebody tells you. That's the reason. Because if everybody knows they are procrastinating by this time, there would not be any procrastinators. They will solve their problem themselves. They come to us. They come to us. Why they are not able to get a promotion in the office? Why they are not going to do this? Because they are procrastinate. The assignments are given late, the projects are not done on time, and he pays more attention to other things in the office than the project. These are the procrastinators. And then you say it's a fear of failure. That's what it is. So he already mentioned to you, Angel, break the task down. The lack of clarity. He already mentioned take tiny steps. Lack of meaning. Connect it to say why. The bigger why should come. And this bigger why is a problem because and 2 minute rule that has already been mentioned. I did not talk about it. And then transform bad procrastination in a good procrastination. That is my program. I got a 6 step program on that. How to break the procrastination and transform bad procrastination to good procrastination. And this program, it goes for 6 weeks, and it's a lovely program. It'll allow you to discover what's in your subconscious mind that is really asking you to procrastinate. We go stepwise. We recognize, we accept, we reframe, and go all along in the 6 steps. So this prevents the total stagnation if you're avoiding a big project, the productive procrastination. So I just added that over there. And the time boxing is already being talked about, the Pomodoro technique. And Pomodoro is just a tomato. They used to have in those days a tomato clock for oven. So that's how they got it. And reframe the deadlines. Most of the procrastinators, they worry because of the long deadlines and artificial mini deadlines. You've got to make out a small deadlines. So you want to prepare for a presentation. So you do a mini a deadline. Though you got a week, you got to say, let me do it in 2 days and then see how it works. Because the work expands to fill the time available. This is the Parkinson's law. And once you start working, you will get going. This has been already mentioned by my associates. And self-compassion loop. This is very important because, people often procrastinate more after self-criticism. These people have got low confidence and they criticize themselves. Almost everybody criticizes ourselves. Is that nobody's an exception? We all criticize ourselves. We have got 2 parts in us, always fighting in conflict every day and every minute. And say that the self-kindness, it reduces the avoidance. And that's a part of the program I do. Daily life examples. You're tired after work, maybe morning fit better if you want to do something for exercise. This happened to my son. And I thought that I'll just put it over here. The micro actions. You need not go and do for 1 hour to improve your health because you want to improve your health, you want to go to gym, but you say I got exercise for a long time. Need not. You break it down, and then you can do the productive delay, and then you can reframe it. You can do the self compassion. So that's and I don't think others are needed. So that's all. I think I'll stop here. And this presentation was done for the International Association because procrastination for us big topic, and we get maximum clients with procrastination. They'll be all CEOs, and they don't know how to progress. And you cannot recognize the procrastination in yourself. Because your conscious mind will justify and say that what you're doing is the right thing. So procrastination is always picked up by people who observe you or people who you work for. or it might be even your spouse, might be even your children, your friends. Your spouse may say, it's not yet done yet. They will know we are procrastinating, but we don't know ourselves. That's the biggest problem. So procrastination is a subconscious or conscious resistance. And this resistance wants to keep you comfortable. It doesn't want you to get into a risky business because it wants to protect you like a shell. So that's what I have for procrastination. And I do have a 6 session program for that. We break down the procrastination stepwise because we go stepwise to go to the root cause, and finally the root cause is dropped off. And it's an interesting program. And also we have the therapy for procrastination, because procrastination is not just superficial. Uh, we need to activate areas of the prefrontal cortex. We need to activate the areas of amygdala. And we have got to activate these areas in such a way that prefrontal cortex gets enough of dopamine. And once it gets enough of dopamine, it's going to do the job. So that's what I have for procrastination. Thank you for listening, because most of them should have been some jargon, medical jargon. But if you try to understand, that'd be great. Uh, because the procrastination is seen all over the world. And on us, how many times did you get up in the morning and then you hit the alarm and slept for another 5 minutes? You don't want to get up because your subconscious mind, it says you're comfortable. You want to get up this early? No, really? You want to do that? So that's what it'll say. So I see procrastination in that way. Uh, so I will end here. Thank you so much for listening to me. Hopefully it was not boring. Because I think there are a lot of stuff on that screen. I shouldn't have put it on the screen, but that was the only presentation I had. So I thought that but I wanted to show you the global percentage. Now you can imagine how many people really procrastinate. And we all procrastinate. I'm telling you now, there's no escape. Procrastination, it comes with the human civilization. It comes with us. We have got a subconscious mind that's going to be a block to us, that'll stop us, that'll stop us from doing things what you want to do. And that's what it happens. And then the Miriam said, we all want to change, but people cannot change. That's another aspect of it. That's the same thing. That is a resistance. Because if you want to change, and if I want to change, it'll be very hard for ourselves to change. But if you go to your coach or if you go to your therapist, that change can happen because they can recognize the blocks in you. They can recognize why you are procrastinating, but not you. Because I got a long the questionnaire I give to people. It's about the 20 questions, and it sorts out where is the procrastination really? Is it conscious, subconscious, or is it in other parts? And procrastination can be seen everywhere, and this is a huge topic. And also, uh, if you get clients, most of them they fall under this category. Okay, I think I'll stop here. It is 10:25 here for me. I get prepared for the next call for I got a stroke
Thank
patient
you.
next, so
Thank you, Sam.
yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Sam.
you
Thank
both
you,
of you.
Miriam. It was a great presentation, and please follow us for more topics from now on. And leave your comments below if you like this and what other topics would you like to debate. Thank you.
Right. And also leave a comment if you want to talk to somebody. Leave a comment that you want to talk to so and so, either to Angel, either to Miriam, or to me. Put it in the comment, and we will always welcome you to talk to us. And also because it might be a big step you'll take in your life just by talking to us. Maybe, you'll get motivated, you'll get inspired. So please put in a comment if you want to talk to us, put the names, and we can catch up with you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Take care.